Welcome to the Body Bag Podcast. I'm your host, Broker Dave. With me, as always, Chris Thomas.
We made it. we made it through the
Eh,
season.
We did. Yes, we did.
Um, wasn't sure how to feel about this season.
Yeah.
There were some. Some of them were not as bad as we thought. A lot of them were worse than we thought.
Yes.
But this was your pick. You want to go ahead? What are we watching today, Dave? What are we watching?
We are watching Soul Survivors, and this is a movie I went in completely blind. I just kind of picked it at random, seeing that
Mhm.
it was terrible. So
We all
I
had
had,
yeah, we both had a
yeah,
list of just like, all right, what are some movies that are below like the old 30 on Tomato Meter, and it's pretty much the same thing that I did. Just that one, I guess.
yeah, had no expectations, but I'm just gonna go out and say it. My biggest problem with this movie,
Mm-hmm.
I needed more Luke Wilson.
I needed to meet more Luke Wilson. Yes. So, how about for like, let's try something a little different.
Yeah,
How about for the first 10 minutes, let's just do a little bit of spoiler-free talk. Just for first 10 minutes, just giving overall vibes of it. One sentence sum up basically is after surviving a car crash, Cassie begins having hallucinations and starts being stalked by some random figures. She's the quote unquote sole survivor of a failed car crash. Oh, no, she was the. No, only one person died in the car crash. It was
yeah.
her.
She was one of three survivors in the car crash.
Yeah, she was one of three. So sole survive. I don't know. The name bugs me.
Yeah,
So,
a lot
but
of issues with this movie.
there's issues with this movie. But what kind of movie are you getting if you don't want to get spoiled? Well, first off, it's early 2000s. This is 2000. What is this early 2000s or is it 2008? What was it?
I want to say it's like 2001.
2001. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
you've seen
September
this movie.
7th, 2001. Yeah,
It's a long line of those 2000s movies. You've heard us talk about 2000s era a lot on the show. It's kind of hard to explain, but when you see one, you know, oh, this movie feels like it was definitely made in like 2000, 2001.
yeah. It has a bunch of those random cuts that just show like random scenes with grunge music behind it.
Which not, I will say this, I did like the soundtrack.
Yeah,
I did like the soundtrack to this. It was pretty rocking.
yeah. It like there's a lot of 2000s movie that does that, and
Mm.
just I just kind of wonder where they got it from. Like it makes me think of like the Charmed opening scenes
Hmm.
in the opening credits.
Hmm.
Hey, like everyone likes Charmed, so we'll just steal that from them. But that's just the opening credits, not actually part of the show.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a trend in 2000s. They liked janky editing. I said it before with the Fear.com thing. It's a lot of shaky cam and a lot of very quick cuts of things that people might find disturbing or a
Yeah,
little off-putting. And
yeah.
I don't know, editing like that really annoys me.
It does. Yeah,
I might have liked it back in the day when Saw did, because Saw did some of that when they show some of their kill scenes.
yeah,
But I don't know. For some reason, it works with Saw. Maybe it's because they perfected it. I don't know.
yeah,
It most of the time when stuff like that happens, I'm not really into it. And it's another one set at a college campus, another college campus slasher. To add to the list.
yeah. This isn't really a slasher, though, to be honest.
Yeah, that's one thing I will say. That's kind of a spoiler for this thing. If you are going into this thinking, "Oh, this looks like a nice, who done it slasher," stalking a bunch of teens, it is not that kind of movie.
Not at all.
It's I will tell you right now, Dave. When I got to be like 30 minutes in, I was like, "Damn, Dave is right. This movie is boring." I was like, "This movie is dull,"
Yeah,
which is a shame because the acting is actually not bad.
yeah. Acting isn't bad. It's just the script isn't good.
You want to list out some of the names because there's some good names in here.
Okay, so
There's like solid actors in this movie, and
yeah,
I love seeing actors early work, especially if they don't get well received. Because
yeah.
especially early, like I like
So
pointing
you
them out.
got Cassie, who's our main character, played
Yes,
by Melissa Sage Miller.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head that I've seen her in,
No,
but her face looks familiar.
yeah. I mean, like, go see what else she's been in. She was in The Guardian. Had a recurring role in Law and Order SVU.
Hmm.
So that's probably where we know her from.
But a name you definitely will recognize, Casey Affleck, is in it.
Yes,
Plays her
he
boyfriend,
plays the boyfriend.
Sean, I believe his name is.
Yeah, Sean. And then you got Liza Dushku
I've seen her in a
as
couple of
Annabelle.
Yeah.
I mean, I had two older sisters growing up, so like I
Uh-huh.
saw Bring It On
Buffy.
when I first Buffy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think she
she's.
was also in New Guy, which is a pretty funny movie.
I have to rewatch it. Was she the main actress, or was she just a side character?
And which one?
The one you just said, new guy.
New Guy? She was the main girl.
Okay. Oh yeah. Oh the new. Oh that old movie, the one where the guy changes his whole appearance and
Personality switching schools. Yeah,
yeah, that.
her and DJ Quails.
I got that mixed up with Free Guy. I was thinking Free Guy,
Yeah,
new guy. Yeah. Okay. Yes,
yeah,
that was her. She was the hot
yeah.
honey pot on campus.
Yeah. Also, I think the final girl in the first Wrong Turn movie.
Oh, and one last thing, just because since we're naming movies that actors are in, was she in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back? Was she one of the three women trio who was trying to rob the place?
Yes, she was in Jane Silent Bob Strike Back.
Thought so. I knew that was her. She was like
Yeah.
the mastermind of the group of robbers and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have her. You had already mentioned Luke Wilson is in it,
As priest, Father Jude. Yeah.
which I will say was the most random casting I've ever seen.
It really was. I saw him and I just got so excited. I'm like,
Yeah, I agree with you. I wanted to see more Luke Wilson, but not as a priest. Of all things, I didn't think he was going to be a priest.
no, but I'm here for it.
And Wes Bentley, which a lot of you might know from American Horror Story, and he's been in a number of other things. Yeah, I don't want to bring up his entire filmography, but we did it for the other one, so it's only right.
Yeah.
Because I just off the top of my head, the first thing that I think of is American Horror Story. He has very distinctive eyes. I could go very far in life if I had the natural guy liner that he has. It's his eyes; they're intense.
Yeah. Played Seneca Crane in the Hunger Games.
That's the thing. The Hunger Games. He was in the Hunger Games. Or a lot of people probably know him from. Oh yeah, he was the bad guy in the first Ghost Rider with Nick Cage movie. Mission Impossible, Fallout, Interstellar. He's been in stuff. You know him when you see him.
Yeah.
But that is who's in it. That is the basic gist. So let's go ahead and drift into some spoiler talk. This is the stuff that's been going on in the movie.
In the movie. So
take us away, Dave. What happens?
So basically, our four main characters, which was Cassie, Sean, Annabelle, and Matt,
Yes.
all go to a party celebrating something.
It's a party. Now, can I say something about this party?
Yeah,
For another rave party, which
Yeah.
a lot of these.
of course.
But this was the best looking party.
Yeah,
This felt
it
like a
had
legit
good
party.
outfit. Yeah,
I would say that between this and the Mine party, the one that from My Bloody Valentine,
would probably be the two best to go to.
would be the two. And two different vibes. You have a rave, and then you have like what seemed like a pretty chill mine party. People just kind of
Yeah.
going in and out of the mines, just drinking and probably hooking up in the
Yeah,
whatever. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to say that we finally get a good party.
yeah, and this friend group has a pretty weird dynamic because Cassie
Yeah.
is dating Sean, but she also used to date Matt, who I think is dating Annabelle.
Yes, Matt is dating Annabelle. Annabelle is kind of like the she's just there to be dating him.
Yeah,
Then you have Sean, who is Casey Affleck, who is dating Cassie, who is played by what's her name again? The actress.
Melissa Sage Miller.
Yes. Cassie used to date Matt. They broke up, and now she is very much with Casey Affleck, Sean.
So during the party, Casey and Sean end up in the car together, and
Bad.
Sean convinces her Cassie to give him one last goodbye kiss,
And she does.
and then Sean sees it.
So, all right, now, I think this might be when I texted you. When I saw that, I was like, oh, I'm going to hate this movie. It's going to be one of those movies where I don't like these people.
Yeah.
I was like, it's going to be one of those movies. Because
Yeah,
I don't know, man. Stuff like that just really,
Yeah.
it hits a little close to home for me, I'll say.
exactly. Yeah, and that leads to the four of them driving home in an awkward car ride, and with Casey and Sean arguing.
Wes
and-
Wes and Annabelle are acting like nothing happened.
Yeah, and so it's raining out, and Cassie's driving, not paying attention to the road.
Yeah.
Smacks into the car full of like weird people from the party.
Yeah, some weird people from the party passed them on the road. They they freak out on the road, somehow do like a skid thing, and she rams right into him.
Next to another, getting rushed to the hospital, and
Hmm.
evidently
Sean didn't make it.
Yeah, Sean died. He was only one that died in that car accident.
The only decent person.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, oh my God, I'm going to hate this movie. So we're not even like 10, 15 minutes into this movie at this point. And already I was like, oh my God, this is just going to irritate me the entire time. The only decent dude died.
Yeah.
And what gets me is they're driving. Like, can I just give a little tip to all you cheaters like out there real quick? If you're going to cheat on your boyfriend with your ex-boyfriend, you know, Sean might be going to Harvard. Sean's going to Harvard, by the way. And he doesn't think he's ever going to really see them that much again. So they just broke up. They don't know when they're going to see each other. Hence why he was pressuring to give her a goodbye kiss.
Yeah.
But Sean might be going to Harvard, but you are a moron to do this in your boyfriend's car at a party that you're all attending. Plus, you know he's coming right back.
Yeah.
So I just had to say that. I was like, I don't know how... I know everybody's been drinking.
Yeah.
But, I mean, how dumb do you have to be? I mean, it's already bad enough you are cheating, but if you're going to, be smart about it. At least...
Exactly.
Don't do it in the dude's car at the party that you're all attending. Sorry. All right, go ahead, Dave.
And then
there's going to be a couple of those, by the way.
Yeah. And then everything that happens post the scene...
Yeah.
Absolutely pointless.
Yeah, a lot of this movie is slow and rinse, rather repeat scenes.
No, I'm just saying... There's a twist at the end that makes a giant chunk of this movie pointless.
We'll get into that bit. But I also have something about the ending which really pissed me off too.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's the same thing that you're... Well, it's probably not. It's probably two completely different things.
Yeah.
All right, so did it say how much time passes? But they find out that Sean didn't make it. Everybody else is fine. Well, scratched up, but alive.
Yeah. And here I thought they were going to do something very interesting. Because as Cassie is recovering from the accident, she's seeing the people that were in the other car, and she thinks they're chasing her.
Yes. She keeps having hallucinations throughout the movie.
And I thought it was going to be a movie about her guilt driving her crazy.
Yes, that's what it's kind of driving at, that she's so guilt-ridden from the... Because she blames herself for, not only... The crux of the whole thing is, her whole arc is that she... never said I love you to Sean. Sean openly admitted, I am in love with you. You're the only person I want to be with. I love you. She never said it to him, which she always regretted. And then she went and kissed, was it Matt? Is that his name, Matt? Went and kissed Matt, and then car crashed and basically killed him while they were in mid-argument. Never got the opportunity to say I love you or whatever. Not that it would mean anything at the time. You just got finished macking on your ex, but... Yeah. So, yeah. They're back at school at this point.
Yeah, you got Matt basically waiting on her hand and foot at this point.
Dude's thirsty.
Yeah. But she keeps seeing the people from the other car, and she thinks they're chasing her.
So a lot of this movie is her going about her school schedule.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what she's learning, but apparently, it's the problem with this.
I really feel like we don't need to go beat by beat with this movie.
Yeah, fine. Please take over.
It drags on longer than it needs to be. It's kind of boring. So basically what happened to this point is she kind of sees the people that were in the other car with her, and then she sees Annabelle hooking up with one of the girls from the other car. Yeah,
that's later on in the movie. At this point, she has seen a number of hallucinations, and nobody believes her. Every time, I don't know how many times they do it. It feels like they did it at least 8 times, where she sees something, runs to tell somebody, they come, and they don't see what she saw.
Yeah, and that's how they introduce Luke Wilson as Father...
Yes. Father... oh, God, that's going to bug me. Jude.
Father Jude. Yes.
Father Jude, who, I guess this was a religious school, because they have an on-campus minister.
Well, he's a chaplain. I think a lot of schools have that. Just kind of have
also
in the military and stuff. You have chaplains that kind of help people when they are in need of spiritual crisis. Yeah.
Plus, I think the party that they did was in an abandoned church. So I just thought that they were around a lot of places with churches. So I thought they might have been at a religious type school.
They could be, yeah.
But essentially, Luke Wilson is the on-campus chaplain and lends her an ear.
so random, but
Yes, like it's just when you see Luke Wilson, you think that, oh, is this a teacher or is he another student? But no, he's the
yeah.
preacher or he's the
It
priest.
was at that odd age where he was still in like his 20s when this movie was made, I think.
When did
Maybe his
when did
30s.
Old School come out? Whenever Old School was that
This,
movie with Will Ferrell.
pretty sure this was before Old School.
Oh. But yeah, so he
Yeah.
basically lends her. He's just there to serve as a kind of a sanctuary for her to kind of feel safe and tell her feelings to.
Yeah, help her move past her guilt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That what I just said though, her showing like I saw so and so chasing me, that happens a lot during the movie. So it is kind of hard to do this beat by beat because it does that all throughout the movie.
It's at least 7 or 8 times.
And this is a 88-minute movie, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. I was like, how many times are you going to do the same thing? And every single time she keeps getting chased, who is it that finds her and says, "Hey, what's going on? Are you okay?" It's always Matt.
Yeah, it was either Matt or Father Jude.
But mostly Matt.
Yeah. And then one time she freaks out so bad, she runs into the church to find Father Jude, and the father that's there is like,
There's no Father Jude.
Father Jude's been dead since 85.
At this point, I'm like, what in the fuck is going on right now? Like, is this a slasher movie? Is this a I'm guilty trying to cope with my anxiety movie? Is this a paranormal movie? Is she actually getting chased by things? Like, what is happening? Like, what is going on?
And then at this point in the movie, something clicked in my brain, like, oh, she went close to like that dead alive veil.
Wait, say that again?
She had that near-death experience.
Uh-huh.
Kinda was in between the veil for a little bit, so now she could see like people on the other side.
That's essentially what this movie is leading up to. You find out more chasing, more chasing, more people don't believe her. And meanwhile, throughout the entire thing, Matt is trying to get into her pants. At one point, they do hook up, but she's still having visions of Sean. So at this point, I'm thinking, is he like drugging her or something and making her like see these things so she'll fall back in love with him? Because they're painting Wes Bentley's character to be the obvious bad guy.
Yeah, and then like Annabelle just don't give a fuck about her. She's like,
she's just kind of there.
Yeah.
She's there. She's getting kind of irritated by what's going on with Cass, and she's having a falling out with Matt, and it's just a very uncomfortable situation all around with everybody just like either not liking each other, which. Why is she still hanging around Matt? She already had that issue that fucked up her relationship with Sean. Why would you still be letting him take care of you and do all that? But as Dave, you eloquently put it, what's the reasoning behind everything being so disjointed and not making any sense?
So here comes a big plot twist. She wakes up in the hospital. The past 55 fucking minutes of this movie
didn't happen really.
Was her hallucination while she was in a coma. Evidently, Sean was the only one that came out of the accident unscathed. Everyone else died.
He was the sole survivor. He was the sole survivor, and she was trapped in this limbo, basically fighting between life and death. Can I, if I may?
Yeah.
The character is fighting between life and death. The more she's fighting against it, the more intense her hallucinations are. Does this sound a whole lot like Jacob's Ladder to anybody? Because if it does, that is essentially what Jacob's Ladder is. That is the exact plot to Jacob's Ladder with Tim Robbins. Have you seen Jacob's Ladder?
No.
I'm very sorry that I spoiled it, but I had to say it because it was such a blatant...
My thing is, it wasn't even fight life or death. She was just in a coma and then woke up.
Oh, and by the way...
This was her hallucination from the coma. So therefore, this movie was fucking pointless.
Oh, by the way, Matt and Annabelle died.
Yeah.
So Matt and Annabelle died. So I guess fuck them.
Yeah.
They painted Matt to be this awful dude that you're thinking, oh man, he's probably drugged, because throughout her hallucinations, she's seeing him talking to the like people who are supposedly chasing her.
Yeah.
And he's always like around. They're painting him to be the bad guy here.
Yeah.
And no, it turns out he's dead, and so is Annabelle.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
So are the people chasing her. They're all dead.
So it's like, okay, you villainized
people who died in a car accident.
You villainized these people who died in a car. Yeah, what Matt did was sleazy, but she reciprocated it.
Yeah.
She got in the car with him knowing full well that her boyfriend is a couple of yards away.
Yeah.
So I don't think that they should have been necessarily painting him and Annabelle as these like friggin' awful people.
No, but they did for no reason.
And now Harvard has one less graduate again.
And now I just wasted 80 minutes of my fucking life on this movie.
And again, all Cassie's fault. She should have been watching the road, because this whole thing happened because she was distressed because she just got... the sequence of events are as followed. She says how much she loves her boyfriend. Boyfriend says, I'm going to go get so-and-so to bring back to the car so we can leave. She gets in the car with her ex-boyfriend. They share a kiss. Sean sees it. They argue. She angrily drives in a rainstorm and crashes the car, killing Annabelle and Matt. But Casey Affleck get to live happily ever after.
Yeah.
As if I care. As if I care. None of those intimate scenes that we saw in the movie with them even happened.
Yeah, like this arc you built with her didn't actually happen, so why would I care?
Because periodically she's seeing Sean, or who she's thinking is Sean's ghost. But it was essentially, she was hearing people, like, while she was in a coma, and hearing their voices, she, like, constructed a scenario. Kind of like, you've seen that done in movies.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. The plot twist made this movie a lot worse than it should have been.
What was it that you were saying? You said that something happened that, when we find out the twist, made it make no sense.
No, I said it made the movie pointless.
Oh. I thought you said that there was like one specific scene. It's like, wait a second, I thought this was a hallucination. This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
This movie really irritated me, man.
Yeah.
Like, more so than I thought it would.
Yeah.
I know you said it was just whatever, but
it's an irritating, boring watch.
With the others, well, I'll save this for the last bit here.
Yeah.
Before we go into overall thoughts, let's give kills and scores real quick, because there's a little ending thing we can talk about.
The only kills I think were the car accident.
It really, yeah, because it turned out everything was pointless.
Yeah.
So there is no real kills of the week, only except the 2 deaths in the car accident.
Yeah.
So I'll freaking say, I don't know, St. Jude, who fucking died 20-something years ago.
Yeah, we don't know how he died, but yeah, we'll give it to Luke Wilson.
I'm giving it to Luke Wilson.
We're fans of Luke Wilson on the show.
Yes,
it might not seem like it, but we are fans.
You said you casted him. Oh, you casted him in one of your sabotage and saves. But I do like the Wilson brothers.
You casted him too in your sabotage.
I know. I'm not saying I didn't. Yeah. But yeah, we like the Wilson brothers.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of both of them. So yeah, I'm giving it to Luke.
Yeah.
All right, now we gotta go. Yeah, we gotta break down this. All right, so this might have to have the lowest score when it comes to story first. We'll start with story.
Yeah.
So
story, I'm gonna give it a 1.
Yeah, this was very technically inept. I'm not gonna go as far as 1. I'm gonna go 2 though.
Okay.
1, I would have to 1 and 0. I have to reserve for. This feels like it was shot on a handheld camera. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean the story just.
Oh, sorry. No, story-wise,
story-wise, it's 1.
2.
Yeah.
Sorry, story-wise, it's about a 2, because at the very end, I can at least. It's a lazy, awful explanation. I hate that explanation of why things. It's so you can have fantastical things or inconsistencies and not have to worry about addressing them, because you can just go, oh well, it was all hallucination.
Yeah, that's why I give it a 1.
So
50 to 55 minutes of the movie didn't actually happen.
That's a good point. Still, though, I'm going to just say 2, just because I'm a little bit more generous.
Okay.
But it's not a good score.
No.
And just when I found out the ending, you know what? It feels like they were going for something, but then they ran out of time, and they thought, all right, well, we have to have some kind of ending. Let's just make it so that she imagined everything.
Yeah.
Like technicals, how like the cinematography, how it was shot. It wasn't the worst.
It wasn't worst. I'd say a 4.
The cinematography, I mean, the shots themselves were fine. It was just a lot of them were pointless.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 3.
Okay.
All right. So that's story, technicals, and overall enjoyment.
Give it a 2.
I was debating if I wanted to give this a 1. Just in terms of my enjoyment.
I mean, there's a scene of Liza Dushka dancing. That's pretty dope. So
I mean, they did have that.
yeah,
And I did say the music. I will
yeah,
say that the near the end, when it was doing that weird dream-like sequence
yeah,
of her in a coma, if the movie was entirely kind of like a fever dream like that, I could have gotten into it probably.
yeah,
If it was a weird fever dream throughout the entire thing where you're like, oh my god, I feel like I'm going crazy,
yeah. Like, did I take acid before I see this? But yeah,
then I could have been like, all right, well, you know what, the story's dumb, but you know what,
they
this
went for something.
this hallucination world is just crazy. And
Yeah.
even her hallucination world, which is supposed to be her hallucinations, she has a poor imagination. Like just it's just her going to school, her going to class and being basically stalked by some people. So she's still doing homework in her hallucinations.
Yeah, but she did imagine Luke Wilson as a priest.
And banging her boyfriend slash
Her
her
ex-boyfriend. Yeah.
So, but enjoyment for me. What did I rate Hanukkah? Was that a 2? Did I rate Hanukkah 2?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm gonna rate it the same. I'm gonna give it about the same score, which is weird because it just irked me. Maybe it just caught me off in a pissed off mood. I don't know. It just irked me, this movie.
So you're giving it a 2 as well as for enjoyment?
Yes.
All right. So overall got a 7 for both of us.
Which on the tomato meter it's a 4%. So that's generous. That's a 7 out of 30 in this, and it's rated a 4 out of 100.
Yeah.
So we're pretty generous here. Which
surprisingly,
because I don't know if it was just because of the whole, like, it's like while I'm watching, I'm not rooting for her because I don't even like her.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to root for this chick who got her boyfriend killed after she cheated on him with her ex-boyfriend in his own car. I'm supposed to feel bad for her? No, I feel bad for freaking Sean.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that Sean was in it more. I kind of wish that a bunch of the other actors who weren't in it as much were in it more.
Yeah, that's the odd part. Can we get more of the people that you didn't have it in a lot?
You know what? Keep the cast and make it a campus slasher.
Yeah.
Which might just seem like, oh, you don't like psychological thrillers? No, I actually defend a lot of psychological thrillers. It's
just this one that's not good.
It's just this one's poor. And like I said, the ending was a ripoff of Jacob's Ladder. I mean, I still recommend that you go see it if you haven't. The one with Tim Robbins.
You're recommending me to go see Jacob's Ladder?
Yeah.
I thought you were recommending people to still go see this movie.
No, I'm recommending you to go see. I'm recommending you go watch Jacob's Ladder if you hadn't.
Yeah,
that's your homework assignment.
My watch list. Yes, watch that. But
because
people out there, do not watch this movie. I'll just give you that warning. Don't watch this.
Because I think at the end of the day, most of the other picks that we've had, we watched and then we went, all right, like this wasn't bad, but I got something out of it. Like, So for a minute, so this basically wraps up our season of Certified Rotten. So
yeah,
what I want to do real quick, we had 6 movies, starting from the one that you liked the most, going down to the one you hated the most. Put them in order. If you need to think about it for a second, I can give my list real quick.
Yeah, give your list.
Okay. Number 1 for me, I think is no surprise. I said I liked Idle Hands. You know, it was my pick, and I was happy when I saw that it was low enough to make it for this one of the episodes. So, Idle Hands number 1. Urban Legends actually to number 2 for me.
All right.
Urban Legends was actually competently shot.
Yeah.
I do like Jessica Goodwin too. It had Anthony Anderson in it. It wasn't a good movie. Eva Mendes, but it had some creative shots, and it was okay. So that's number 2. Number 3, surprisingly, House of the Dead. I'm talking about how much I enjoyed it, not how much of a good or bad movie it was. Because House of the Dead is probably our technically worst movie that we watched this season. House of the Dead is the worst technically, but it does land in the it's so bad I can have a good time trashing this thing.
Yeah.
And thank you, Captain Kirk. Number 4, gotta go with I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer.
All right.
I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer. I didn't see the first one, so I don't. Well, it's been a long, long time since I've seen the first one, so it didn't really hit me as hard of how much it didn't have anything to do. Like, I don't know why it was set in Colorado, but I mean, if it was supposed to be a fishing town in the first one, but sure, I guess. But it didn't piss me off too badly. Then we start getting into stuff that was really irritating, starting with number 5, Slender Man, which
All right.
Slender Man, I would think I was just more disappointed than anything.
Yeah.
Just because you already have the creature design already made. You already have the lore already made. The hard part was done. You could have just made a 80 to 90 minute creature thing that's just like abducting people. I don't know. It was just disappointing. It was boring to me.
Yeah.
Given that Slender Man is such a creative character to be able to do something
Yeah.
with. And then, of course, this one might be my least favorite. This one, Soul Survivors number 6. I didn't like this movie.
All right. So for me, the one I enjoyed the most is probably Urban Legends. That's probably my top pick.
I'm actually not mad at that. I mean, Urban Legends was not. What was it, like a 10% or something on Tomato? It was low. It was criminally low.
Yeah. So Urban Legends, and then Idle Hands is number 2.
Okay,
those are like the 2 easy ones.
It was easy, yeah.
Yeah.
When I was going through the list, I was like, number 1 and 2 are kind of easy. Idle Hands was my pick, and Urban Legends really wasn't that bad.
Yeah. And then number 3 for me is probably Slenderman. And it was boring, but it wasn't bad. The story didn't make sense. There's some good shots.
Yeah.
Number 4 would probably be House of the Dead. I mean, once again, they had an open concept they could do anything with, and they chose what they did.
It's essentially Zombie Island, and you managed to screw that up.
Yeah, like, come on now. Number 5 would be Soul Survivors.
Mm-hmm. I already knew what your number 1 was going to be.
Yeah, number 1 was... Yeah. I'll always know what you did last summer, yeah.
Because I think I mentioned to you, I texted you, I said, this is going to be my I always know what you did last summer.
Yeah.
Which I did think it was going to be.
These 2 last movies... I always thought you did last summer and Soul Survivor were garbage movies.
Now, when I'm thinking, now we've watched a good handful, about maybe 10, I'd say, including the ones with our guests.
Yeah.
Of bad movies. Now, all of these, we tried to come up with one, or we tried to pick some that we thought, okay, we picked the lowest rated ones that we could find, a lot of them.
Yeah.
But I don't think any of these technically would be like the worst I've ever seen. Do any of those make the rank of this is the worst movie I've ever seen?
I mean, we got Venom up there.
How about just in regards to this show?
I don't think any of them pass up Venom or Black Christmas 2019 for me.
And Hanukkah is still mine.
Yeah.
It goes Hanukkah, Venom, and then this movie.
See, I got Venom, Black Christmas, Hanukkah, then I'll Always What You Did Last Summer, and then Soul Survivor.
But I might have to rewatch Venom again just to see if it's as bad. But yeah, those are my 3 right now. It's Venom, Soul Survivor, and fucking Hanukkah. It's nothing top. Although I will say, it feels unfair because Cassie probably wasn't the most annoying character, not even the most annoying female character. But I don't know, it's the cheating thing. It just irks me, that thing. I think it's the fact that they introduced that so early on, but that's the problem with that. You're supposed to endear us to this character, but you're only showing us her causing a car crash after cheating on her boyfriend.
Yeah.
So once you start out with the first 5-10 minutes of that happening, I'm just going to be irritated seeing her. At the very least, Hanukkah dude was meant to be annoying.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I keep meaning to let you just take over, but this one just hit me so passionately that I had to.
Yeah, I could tell, like, the way you were texting it, like, you were not
having a good time.
Yeah.
Which serves me right, because at the beginning of our Urban Legends review, I was like, I think that the worst is behind us.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't know, Soul Survivor, I don't know anything about it. It can't be as bad as the stuff we've already watched. And then I watched, I was like, oh, God, this is just irritating me. Maybe it's also because it has good actors in it.
Yeah.
But this isn't even our final episode. It's our final movie between the pick of ours, but not our final episode.
No.
We still have like one more left in the chamber. We still got a season finale we got to organize.
Yeah. So you guys keep on listening.
Fun's still going. And but in the meantime, you want to take us out there, Dave? It was a good. Yeah, I will say, you know what I mean when I say good pick. It means really like, fuck you, I didn't like this movie, but good pick. Good pick.
Yeah. All right. So if you guys are still listening, you guys are our soul survivors.
Aw.
Have a good week, everybody.
See you guys. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to Body Bag Podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave us a comment as to what you'd like to hear us review, or any horror movie topics you'd like to hear us rant and rave about.
And while you're at it, you can find us on Twitter at BodyBagPod and on Instagram at BodyBagPodcast.
Thanks, and we'll see you next time.